So if you've got a Mazzoni boiler like this and you're struggling to get it to start, this is a Mazzoni 25 litre a minute boiler. We've got it hooked up to a pressure washer and for hot water, but if you can't seem to get it to start, I'll just show you how I got mine to start when it wasn't firing up. So first off, let's just start with the basics. First thing, if you can't get it to fire up, make sure that the e-stop isn't pushed in. This will stop any of this panel from lighting up. So just make sure it's the e-stop is deactivated. You obviously need to make sure that it's plugged in to a power supply. You'll also want to check that the fuse hasn't been blown if you aren't getting any lights on here. And in order for this to fire up, you need your pressure washer on as well. So you'll need to make sure your pressure washer's on, because there's like a pressure, from what I believe, there's a pressure switch here. So it needs to sense a pressure from the pressure washer for it to fire up. Now, the error that I had was I was showing a no flame error. Another common error that you can have is this one here, which I believe is something to do with maybe a blocked tip. This one is saying that there's no flame. This one is saying that maybe there's a blocked tip. And I'll just show you the error that I had and then how to fix it. So the first thing is, I just want to reset the error that happens and just see if it will fire up. Just see if it's just like a one-time thing, that there was just a little blip. So it's showing that error. You hold the reset button for a couple of seconds and then it will start the fire up sequence again. If it faults again, you know that you've got a problem. So this is like the first step. Just reset the issue and see what happens. As you can see, it just faults again. So this is a step 2. So because it's got something to do with the actual like ignition, luckily I actually have some spare electrode leads. The first thing I did was change the electrodes. That's like a little, like the spark plug essentially. I changed that and it was no good. So what I did was I swapped out the leads, because I thought, what if the leads are faulty? So I'm sort of working my way back from the burner on the ignition side. So check the electrodes, swap the electrode. Did that work? No. Then I swapped the leads. Did that work? No. And then the last step that I want to check is this bit here. So this is the ignition something or other. I can't remember what it's called. But this is the thing that generates the spark. And I swapped that out and it actually fired up. So that was the cause. It was actually the ignition transformer, I believe. And I'll show you like the spares that I carry in my van. So yeah, this is just like a, you put screws and nuts and bolts in, like a DeWalt thing. And I just keep all the critical stuff in there. Just to give you a bit of a word of warning, if you have been struggling with that fault and you've been resetting it over and over and over again, I recommend you have yourself a leaf blower, because what's going to happen is when you've been resetting it over and over, that nozzle is going to be spraying fuel into the burner over and over and over, and the spark is going to be failing over and over and over. So that nozzle here, this nozzle here, will be spraying into the boiler, and there'll be so much unburnt diesel in that burner that when you turn it on, there's going to be smoke absolutely everywhere. So if you're near your house or in a residential area, have your leaf blower ready, because you're going to be blowing all that smoke out of your van. And it's not an exaggeration, it's like literally fills the whole van full of white smoke. So yeah, keep that handy, keep some spares. And my advice is, if you're struggling with fault finding, just work your way back from the burner. Those parts that I've got in one of them DeWalt boxes, I don't know, you might spend 200 or 300 quid on the spares, but you've got them on hand so that you can fault find your own machines, not have to bring them into your pressure washing service place to you know, be without your van for a couple of days. You can do all this in a couple of hours max. It's really quite easy. And hope you found this video useful. If you did, download the pressure washing calculator. Peace.